going on, everyone, and welcome back to Invest Daily. I hope everybody's having a blessed and wonderful day out there. So today I have a great video talking about an article which is going to talk about basically the Pokemon market. So just so you're tracking right, I am away on a business trip for almost all of August. So a lot of this content is pre-recorded, but it's still going to be some great stuff. You can leave a comment. I can still get back to you. I appreciate all of the love, and I'll have some banger content coming to you once I come back from this business trip towards the end of August. So right now, looking at this article, and the reason why we're going to talk about this today is to try to gather some thoughts and see what all of you think about it. And just to preface the conversation, right? So for me personally, I am an investor slash collector. I do invest in collecting cards. I do play them, but I do not play them as much as I used to. But I do think that all three are very, very important for the IP of Pokemon and for all of card investing and collecting and playability alike, right? I think all three of them are needed and equally important for a game to thrive and to survive, right? To do rather well. So it says the Pokemon company printed 9 billion Pokemon cards last year, doubling production to stop speculators from scoring 350-fold returns on rare cards. So let's talk about this for a second. What does this mean? So a lot of you may understand a while back with Topps, right? So you have the junk wax era of baseball cards and a lot of different cards back then, even basketball, that just were worth absolutely nothing, right? Because the printers go burr, a lot of stuff got printed, and basically what it did was increase supply, therefore decrease in demand, and then make the cards absolutely worthless. So even today, a lot of these cards are worth absolutely nothing and considered the junk wax era. So would you consider this the next era, the next generation of a junk wax era, especially for Pokemon? So we know right around 2020, we had the high of Pokemon, everything was jumping, the prices were going insane on everything. You know, you couldn't even find modern product on shelf. And I think that's where Pokemon was having a problem, because you had all of these players who could not get product. They could not play the game. They could not afford secondary market prices, which is very understandable to print more. So that way right now, you know, we enjoy opening cards. Now I can go to my local store and I can get cards off of the shelf and I can actually rip packs and have fun with that. But you have the right side where, you know, you're over printing the product. You're printing it into oblivion so that way Pokemon can make their profit, but then you're leaving the investors and the collectors out. And the reason why that's an issue, right? Because you need all three to survive. As an investor and collector, even if I don't play the cards, maybe I love the artwork. I like to encapsulate the cards. It's a showpiece in my home, you know, right? I like to put this stuff on my wall. It's like art, you know, so if you put that stuff on your wall, you're very proud of what you have. But what people don't want to do is open an ATB for 50 bucks and it be worth absolutely nothing, like $14, because it just doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good. So right now you have a lot of people who are pumping these modern products, and it's really hard to say where they're going to be in the future because, of course, people are still buying them up. They're still speculating, still trying to make a profit. And in the beginning of that 20 phase where all this modern product was coming out, you had all of these flippers who were buying everything off of the shelves so they could turn a profit. But now it's hard to do that, right? A lot of this stuff is going to start going cheaper on the secondary market than what it is for MSRP. But basically what a lot of people are speculating on that, hey, what about 5-10 years from now? And then you also have the other vintage collectors that are saying, hey, stay away from modern product. Do not buy Pokemon modern product because it is a bad investment. First of all, when you open a lot of this product, you're probably not going to pull anything of value anyway. You're probably going to throw your money down the drain. So buy WotC and buy vintage era cards that, you know, not as many were printed back then, like your Gold Star cards, right? So they are very, very rare today, and they're going to hold that rarity because they're not going to be reprinted ever again. So what do y'all think about that? All right, so looking at this article, it says roughly 30% of all Pokemon playing cards, the 1997 card trading game based on Japanese animation, was printed in the last 2 years. So 30% of all Pokemon cards were printed in just the last 2 years. That is absolutely insane, right? That is crazy to think of. So it says in June, the Pokemon company revealed what maximum capacity meant. According to the date from the company's website, the group printed a whopping 9 billion playing cards between March 21 and March 22. That's more than double the 3.7 billion cards the company printed a year prior and well above the company's annual average of 1 billion new cards to date. The Pokemon company has printed roughly 43.2 billion cards since its launch. That is an incredible amount of cards, but you got to think about it, right? when you really break down the numbers, so you have 9 billion cars, and you have to think about a world population, right? We have billions and billions of people. So when you really look at it and you dumb down all of that bulk and all of those trash cars that nobody wants, I mean, would it still make your full arts and some of those rare, desirable cards rare? Would they still be rare? And that's the question, right? So you still have to look at those pop reports, and you have to see the quality as well, because a lot of the quality on these cards, even the Pokemon Go set that just came out, was not that great. So you may send a ton of cards in, but you're not going to get a ton of 10s because the print quality is not as great. They are just pumping these cards out as fast as they can to turn a buck. So it says the overprinting is working. So the senior consultant for CGC, a company that evaluates the quality of cards before auctions, says that even the most common cards would sell for 6 cents during the height of the Pokemon craze, and now they go for a penny. So obviously they are bringing down the value on these cards. So that is also a good thing, right? Because you had a lot of junk cards. People were sending every single card they could into the grading companies. And that's why the grading companies had a backlog like PSA and jacked up their grading prices, because they could not keep up with the demand for grading cards. And people were buying any and everything that had a PSA 10 on it or a BGS 10 because it was a BGS 10 or it was a PSA 10, but it could be like a dollar card or a penny card. And it's just crazy to grade a card for like 50 bucks, right? I'm not going to send a card that's worth a few dollars for 50 bucks and pull a 9. So now you have to pull a banger in order to make it worth it, to get your return on your investment. And that's the way it should be, right? These grading companies should not have a crazy backlog where it takes a year to get your cards back. And it's talking about how older cards sell for crazy amounts, right? $311,000 for a holographic Charizard from 1999 and a Pikachu Illustrator from 1998 for $5.2 million in April this year. To me, that is understandable, right? So these are very nostalgic pieces. These are vintage pieces, vintage era pieces, and they are super incredibly rare. So it's understandable that some of this stuff is worth that amount of money. But, you know, we're also going through rough times right now, and the economy is collapsing right now, right? A lot of things are going down. That means that people are not buying a lot of these products off of the shelf. So I would really like to hear what all of you think, right? So is Pokemon printing 9 billion cards or 30% in 2 years? Is that crazy, right? Is that too much? Do we think that we're going to hit a brick wall, hit a junk wax era for Pokemon? When is the next bull market for Pokemon going to happen? Is it going to be a few years? Are they going to cool off the printers? Because there's a certain point where you have to pull back, right? So if you're way over what demand is for these cards and people are not buying them because, you know, you're cutting out your investors and your collectors, I'm not going to collect a bunch of bulk wax junk that's not worth anything. I'm sorry, Pokemon, but it's not going to happen, right? So I'm going to continue to buy old vintage product if I have to, but we'll see where it goes. You know, I think it's hard because there's tons of Pokemon fans that really outweigh even these printers right now. So we'll see what happens, but it's very, very exciting times. I am happy to get some cheaper cards and be able to break some open on the channel and give away some stuff and help out some people. So I would love to hear your comments and your feedback. Drop a comment if you like this video, right? Let me know what you think. Get back to me. If you want to hit me up on the DMs, if you want to hit me up personally and we chat, invest_daily21 is my Instagram. I will get back to you. I hope y'all enjoy the content. I love each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all later. Out.